This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So let's start today's session. Now, in this class, we are going to talk about how to do installation or setting up the lab for our classes. So we'll probably see how to install Red Hat 7 or 8. There is no big differences in installing Red Hat 7 or 8. Almost the method and procedure is same. So before I can talk about how to install Red Hat or any operating system. We need to check the requirements of the hardware, guys. Because what happens is whenever you are planning to do an installation, hardware requirements are really important. If you don't know that this OS requires what hardware and you try to install blindly, then it may end up in corrupted installation or improper installation, and your OS might not get installed, or even if it is installed, it may not work properly. So requirements are the key for installing the operating system, whether you go for a simple OS or you go for a software. Everything has an HCL, hardware compatibility list. So if your hardware is compatible with the software, then you are good to proceed. If the hardware is not compatible with the software, then you may end up having troubles. So let's see what are the requirements to install Red Hat 8. In fact, Red Hat 7 requirements are also same. Minimum and recommended requirements. What is the difference between minimum and recommended requirements? See, minimum is at least what you should have in order to install Red Hat 7 or 8, but you may not expect a great performance with this. Okay, installation will be successful, you will be able to use it, but it won't give you best results. If you want to have the faster performance and best results, then you should go with recommended requirements. Mainly, the requirements is targeted or based on three things: processor, RAM, and hard disk space. These three are mandatory to have. So what is the processor we should have? Intel or AMD dual core processor. See guys, a processor is divided into cores and cores is divided into threads. That's how the processor work. So two core means having one physical processor with two cores. So physically it would be one, but logically it will behave or perform like two processor with the help of two cores. Same way, recommended is to have Intel or AMD quad core processor. Quad core means physically one processor having four cores. So physically it will be one, but logically it would be behaving as four processor. So performance will be very high and optimum. When it comes to RAM, we should have minimum 4 GB RAM, and recommended is to have 16 GB. Guys, 4 GB I have kept so that you may also able to install some extra software. But if you don't have 4 GB, 2 GB RAM is enough for our testing environment. Anyway, in our case, we are not going to put any heavy applications or databases, so 2 GB RAM will also be sufficed, but better to have 4 GB if you have good RAM. Recommended for best optimum result is to have 16 GB RAM. Minimum hard disk space we should maintain is 25 GB so that you may install OS and may do partitioning and go for some other softwares also. Recommended is to have 50 GB, but suppose if you have a hard drive of 1 TB, that would be super, or 500 GB. These are the bare minimum guidelines what we should start with, right? So these are the requirements to have. So either you should have minimum requirement or recommended requirement. If you have recommended, then you will get optimum best result. Minimum will also allow you to install and work with that, but the performance may not be that much high what you can get in recommended one. Now, one more thing is there, guys. According to hardware architecture or CPU architecture, softwares are created. And in CPU, there are two types of architecture, 32-bit architecture and 64-bit architecture. If you go with 32-bit, performance may be a little slow. 64-bit will give you best performance and higher capabilities. Even if you are planning to go with virtualization, your CPU must be 64-bit. 32-bit CPUs does not support virtualizations also. Nowadays, guys, 32-bit has become outdated. If you go and purchase a simple laptop or desktop with basic configuration, you will get it with 64-bit architecture only. So no more you are finding 32-bit architecture in the market right now. Every laptop, desktop is using 64-bit architecture only. So what Red Hat has done, they have stopped producing software with 32-bit support. So Red Hat 7 and 8 only comes in 64-bit version. So usually 32-bit architecture, if you have to go with 32-bit software or 32-bit OS. 64-bit architecture is there, you have to go with 64-bit software or OS. So now there is no 32-bit, so you have to only go with 64-bit architecture. If you go to Red Hat website or CentOS website, you will only find the operating system and softwares available in 64-bit. There is no 32-bit version softwares available, right? Now, I hope you might have installed Windows sometime or the other, right? To install Windows operating system, we need just one partition. C drive, that's enough, and your OS will get installed. But when we are installing Linux, especially Red Hat, we need minimum three partitions. One is root. Yesterday we understood the architecture. Root is the topmost, the main partition that contains the entire operating system. So that partition you have to create must and should. What should be the size? Maximum available size you should give it to root. At least in my opinion, 50% of the available space, if you give it to root, that would be better, right? 50 to 60% of available space dedicate to root, that would be best and recommended. Then the next partition we have to create is boot partition. As yesterday we understood, guys, boot partition is needed for what purpose? It is needed for keeping bootable files that requires to boot your operating system. What is the size recommended for boot? 1 GB. Guys, 1 GB, I have given a lenient size. Actually, if you go with automatic partitioning, it will take hardly 500 or 400 MB. But I have seen that giving 4 500 MB may have a problem when you upgrade some kernel or something like that. At that time, you may face issues. So better to have 1 GB safer side. Then the last partition what you have to create is swap partition. Swap is a support to RAM. Guys, to support RAM, we will create one partition which is called as swap. Now, how exactly swap support and works, we are going to see that in a chapter down the line. Coming ahead, there is a chapter on swap that we are going to discuss in detail, where we will understand the pure role of swap. As of now, just keep in mind, to support RAM, we should create a partition which is called as swap. Now, what should be the size of that swap? It should be equal to RAM or twice of RAM. Suppose your RAM is 1 GB, so you can go with 1 GB swap, or you can go with 2 GB, double, twice of it, right? So better to go with twice the size of RAM. If your RAM is 1 GB, go for 2 GB, performance will be better. If your RAM is 2 GB, go with 4 GB. If your RAM is 4 GB, go with 8 GB. That is recommended. If you don't have spaces, at least maintain equal to RAM. But twice of the RAM, I recommend. So these three partitions we have to mandatorily create during installation, without which if you proceed, your installation may not work perfectly. Okay, all right. Now guys, let us go and try to install our operating system on a virtual machine. Guys, at the demo class, I have just given you an overview that what is a virtualization, why it was introduced. See guys, virtualization is used to run multiple operating system at a time in a single physical machine. So normally what we does is we'll take one high computing machine with good RAM, good CPU, and on that machine, you will go with virtualization. That is one more type of virtualization is there, pure virtualization. We also call it as full virtualization. But I don't want to go into that detail, which is not required. What we are going to do, let me explain you. See guys, suppose this is my laptop. On my laptop, I have installed Windows 10. Now you might have a Mac OS also, there is no problem. Suppose in my case, I'm using a Windows laptop. You might be using Mac, that's also fine. But I'm going with Windows 10 laptop. Now on that laptop, on the top of Windows, I'm going to install a virtualization software, like how you install VLC Media Player, Mozilla Firefox, or any other software. Same way, you can install a software of virtualization. Like in my case, I'll be using Oracle VirtualBox, right? You are free to use any virtualization if you are aware of virtualization software. There are other softwares also available like VMware Workstation or VMware Player or any other virtualization software you know, you can use it, right? Why I recommend Oracle VirtualBox? First of all, it is open source, free of cost. You don't need any license for it. If you go with VMware Workstation, you need a license key. Most of the people use pirated keys and all. I don't want to promote piracy. So better to go with Oracle VirtualBox, no licensing, free of cost. So on the top of VirtualBox, we are going to create virtual machines. Now each virtual machine will be behaving as if it is a separate physical machine. It behaves like that. So on the top of it, you can install any operating system. You can again install some Windows operating system. You can install Red Hat operating system. You can install Ubuntu. You can install CentOS, whatever. So I just need to power on my Windows laptop, activate the virtual machine software, and power on virtual machine and work with that. So parallelly, I can run multiple machines if it requires. That's the reason we use virtualization software, right? So this is the setup what we are going to do, right? So let's see how to get that Oracle VirtualBox. But before going for Oracle VirtualBox, guys, there are few more things what I want you to get notified about your hardware. See, if you want to implement virtualization, suppose in my case, I'm going for a laptop. Now you might be going for laptop or desktop, whatever it might be. Your laptop desktop architecture should be 64-bit. And the OS should also be 64-bit OS, the base OS, Windows or Mac OS. Mac definitely comes in 64-bit, so no need to check also. But Windows, what you are using, your laptop must have a 64-bit OS. Second thing, in your laptop settings, virtualization support must be enabled. Where? In BIOS or UEFI settings. Now I'll let you know how to find it. First of all, let me find whether my OS is 32-bit or 64-bit. I'll simply go to my computer or this PC. I'll just right click it and I'll go with property. When you go with properties, you will find over here that my OS is 64-bit operating system with a support of 64-bit processor. That means this machine is having 64-bit support. So I can go for it, and the RAM I'm having is 8 GB. That's great, right? So first thing, I have checked that my machine is 64-bit or not. Yes, it is 64-bit. Second thing, you have to check whether virtualization support is enabled or not. How can I check it? Just go to Task Manager, right click on the taskbar. Task Manager will get open. In Task Manager, go under Performance tab. When you go under Performance tab, over here at the bottom, you will find there is an option called Virtualization. Now just check it out. Is it enabled or not? If it is enabled, that's beautiful. If it is disabled, then how to enable it? See, when you purchase a new laptop, in some laptops, virtualization support is disabled. So you need to enable it in order to work with virtualization software. Otherwise, your virtualization software will not work. If your hardware is not supporting virtualization, how do you expect it to work? So how can I enable it? Guys, first of all, find out what is the model of your laptop or desktop. I'll go to System Information, and over here you can find out that what is the model of your laptop or desktop. Like in my case, you can see it is Surface Book, right? I'm using a Microsoft Surface Book, so I came to know what is the model. For example, yours is Lenovo or HP or Dell, whatever model you might be using. Here, the model name will be present. Now, as you got the model name, just do some Googling. Go to Google, for example, you can just say how to enable virtualization in your model name. For example, I have a laptop, Lenovo G50, for example. So I'm typing how to enable virtualization in BIOS under Lenovo G50. Now, when you go for it, guys, you will get step-by-step support from Lenovo that how you can go and enable it. Like you can see over here, it is telling you to go into BIOS setting. When you reboot your laptop, it says go with F1 key. See how it is explaining with screenshot. Press F1 key, it will take you to BIOS. In BIOS, you can find in advanced settings virtualization option. It is disabled, so just make it enable. That's it. Now, once you enable virtualization and reboot it, after rebooting the machine, again go to Task Manager. In a Task Manager, go to Performance and find out virtualization is enabled or not. So these two are the prerequisite to implement virtualization, guys. If you don't implement it, then you will always have issues. You may not be able to implement virtualization perfectly. Lots of issues we will face. So before planning to go with this particular concept, you must check these two things, whether your laptop or desktop is 64-bit or not. Secondly, you must also check that does it have virtualization support enable or not. If it is enabled, then definitely you can go ahead and you can proceed with virtualization installation. All right. So I recommend guys you just go with these things and find out. And if virtualization is not enabled, enable it. Lots of stuff is available. Videos are available on internet. Lots of things you can do and you can easily find out whether it is enabled or not. One second. I'm sorry, guys. All right. So let us say that we are having 64-bit OS and we are also having virtualization enabled. Now let's go to Oracle VirtualBox website and download the latest Oracle VirtualBox. So you can just go to Google and you can say download Oracle VirtualBox. Now I'll go to download Oracle VirtualBox. Here it will ask you to download the software according to the base OS what you are using. If you are using Windows OS at the base, then download Windows supported software. If you are trying to install it on Mac OS, then go with OS X host. So OS X host will be for Mac OS, Windows will be for Windows. So when you click it, your download will pop up. You can download it. And once the download is completed, you can find it wherever it is downloaded. Like in my case, it might get download in downloads. So here's the software downloaded. I'll double click it. Blindly just say next, 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 and finish the installation. The simple way how we install normal software in Windows. You just need to say next, 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 right? In my case, it is already installed. So it says, would you like to repair? You just need to say next, 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 and finish the installation. Once your installation is finished, this is how your Oracle VirtualBox will look like, right? It would be something like that, blank. So in this panel, we are going to create a virtual machine and do our setup. So make sure that your machine is 64-bit, virtualization is enabled, and you have downloaded and installed the latest version of Oracle VirtualBox or any other recommended virtualization software you want to work. Now let us create a new virtual machine for our lab. To create a new virtual machine, there is an option here, new. Click on that, new. So it asks you something that what is the name you want to call it and other things. So guys, I'm going to call it M Linux, or I'll just call it RHEL 40, for example. You can call whatever name you like. I'm calling this name for my reference. You can call it whatever name you like. See, the moment I type RHEL, the type it's selected is Linux and Red Hat 64-bit. If you have not enabled virtualization, this option will disappear. You will not find 64-bit version, only 32-bit it will show you, and that is not going to work out. So we must have 64-bit option available. Select the type as Linux and it should be Red Hat 64-bit. Now let's proceed with next. It would ask you how much RAM would you like to give. Guys, I'd like to give 2 GB RAM. So let me increase it. I'll just click little ahead to increase it. Click, click, click. One more time, click. So you see the RAM increased to 2048 MB. I want to give 2 GB RAM. Then next. Do you want to create a virtual hard disk now? Of course. If I don't create a hard disk, where my software or OS will get installed? So I'll say yes, create a virtual hard disk now. So I'll click on create. What is the type of hard disk you want to create? Keep it VDI, no change. We'll again proceed to next. Then would you like to associate or give the size dynamic or fixed? Again, select dynamic. No need to change. The defaults are perfect. I'll go with dynamically allocated. Now it is asking you an important question that what size of hard disk would you like to create? So I'll say create a hard disk with a size 25 GB. So I'm saying create it with a size 25 GB. Let me click on create, or one more time I'll show you from the beginning. Click on new, give it some name. I'm calling it RHEL 40. You can call whatever name you like. Next, RAM I'll make it 2 GB, 2048 MB. Create virtual hard disk now. Yes, create it. What type? VDI. Let it be VDI. Dynamically allocated? Yes. What should be the size of hard disk? 25 GB. You can give beyond 25 GB if you have good space. I'm little uh, lenient, not that much lenient for the size, so I'm giving 25 GB. You can give beyond 25 GB also. Let's click on create. So you see your virtual machine RHEL 40 is created. Now this machine I need to use for our lab setup or for our installation. Now before I can go for installation, some changes in the settings I need to do. So let me right click on this machine and settings option appear. Click on the settings and setting box will be available. Guys, if you are working with a physical machine, we will go into BIOS settings. When the system is powering on, by pressing F1 or F10 or F12, different options are there. You can go into BIOS settings to change the boot order and all. See, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to increase CPU. I'm trying to set the boot order, that boot first with CD, then hard disk, something like that. So physical machine, if you are installing, you have to go to BIOS or UEFI. Virtual machine, if we are dealing, we have to go into VM settings. So let me go into system. Now over here, first of all, I will increase the processing unit. Let me go into processor. See guys, minimum requirement is to have dual core processor. So here only one core processor is given. Let me increase the processor count to 2 so that the performance will be faster. So I have chosen 2 core processor. Let me come back again to motherboard. Now in motherboard setting, you see first it is going to boot with floppy. Now if floppy is not available, it will go and boot with CD or DVD. If CD or DVD is also not there, then it is going to go with hard disk, right? Now, seriously, guys, who is using floppy anymore, right? So let me just unselect floppy and throw it down the order, down, down, down. I don't need it. I'm telling boot first with DVD. If DVD is not available, go with hard disk, right? That's what I'm telling. Then pointing device. Over here you see it has selected PS2, the mouse cursor. Guys, if mouse cursor is not properly working during installation, we will have problems. So I want to change that style of mouse from PS2 to USB mouse so that it may work properly. I am facing problem, so I'm changing it to USB. Better you also change it to USB multi-touch or something. Then the next thing we'll do is we'll go to storage. Now in storage, you can see the hard disk, what you have allocated, 25 GB size it is showing, that's fine. Let's go and click on that empty CD button. Guys, if it is a physical machine, you will click on CD drive, tray will come out. In the tray, you will put CD-ROM and again close the tray. But this is a virtual machine. This is not a physical machine, right? So physical machine, we will give software copy of the CD, which is called as ISO image. I hope you're aware of that ISO image. When you go to Red Hat or CentOS, download the software of Red Hat, it comes in the form of ISO image. If you want to use it physically, then you have to burn it into CD. Now, seriously, nobody is using CDs and all, very less it happen. We are either using ISO image directly or we are now making USB drives bootable and working with that. So anyway, I have downloaded that image from internet. Now, how to download the image from Red Hat? Guys, if you want to download the image from Red Hat, you need a corporate email ID of your office. You cannot use personal Gmail, Hotmail to get registered. With your corporate email account, you have to register to Red Hat, and then Red Hat will allow you to download the image. So I don't want you to take all that pain. I'm going to share the software Red Hat for you through Google Drive. It would be around 8 to 9 GB. So you need to download it with patience and then you have to use it. So let me click on that CD button. When you click, there is an option, choose a disk file. Click on this and it will allow you to browse through your system. Now, wherever you have downloaded, if you have downloaded on desktop or any other location or downloads, go to that location, open the folder, and you will find your image over here. So whatever image I'm going to share with you, just download it. I'll be sharing with your Gmail accounts. I have all of yours accounts. So on the same email address, I'll be sharing that software. Download it with patience. 8 to 9 GB is there. It might take 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on your internet speed. Download and keep it and know where you are keeping it. That is important. So I know where I have kept it. Here is my RHEL 8.3 64-bit version C. 8.81 GB is the capacity, and open it. So now we have inserted the DVD into DVD drive. Physically, you open the tray comes out, you put the DVD. This is virtual. So we are feeding it virtually in the form of ISO image. The capacity of this image is 8.82 GB, around 9 GB. So that's a big size. Anyway, so what we did, we first came into system, we went to processor, increased the processor count. Second, we made CD drive as first bootable device, hard disk as second bootable device. We also changed the mouse settings to multi-touch USB so that mouse cursor should work properly. Then we came to storage. DVD was not connected. I clicked on that, and after that I click on that DVD icon. We went to choose a disk and we selected the DVD Red Hat 8.2 GB. Now everything is connected. Click on OK and power on your virtual machine. Now to power on the virtual machine, there are multiple methods. You can right click. There is an option start, go with normal start. Or just click it over here. There is an option start. Click on that ribbon start. Or the most easiest way, what I like, double click on virtual machine. When you double click on virtual machine, your virtual machine will automatically power on. It may take a moment to power on. So it says I'm powering on the virtual machine, and do you want me to continue with this DVD to boot? I'll say yes, continue with that DVD. I'll increase the size of the window so that it may be visible to everyone. Let me go to scale the mode and make it bigger. Right, now I hope it is visible perfectly to everyone. Now there are a few options over here, guys. See, there is a countdown going on beyond the scene. I need to stop it. Just click on this virtual machine window and your cursor will start working, up arrow, down arrow. So what happens, guys, when you click on virtual machine, your mouse will go inside that virtual machine and keyboard and mouse will work inside your virtual machine. Now, if you want to release your mouse and keyboard, bring it out, then what to do? In that scenario, just look at your laptop. On the laptop, right side, there is control key. So right side control key in your laptop is called as host key in Oracle VirtualBox. So when you click on right side control key of your laptop, the mouse cursor will be released and you can bring it out of your virtual machine. If you click anywhere inside virtual machine, your mouse will capture in virtual machine. To release it, right side control key of your laptop or desktop. So when you click on right side control key, the mouse cursor will be released. If you click anywhere inside, the mouse will go inside and it will work within your virtual machine only. Okay, now there is an option install Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8.3. Obviously, we have to go with that option. Or there is one more option, test this media and then go for installation. Suppose, guys, you have a doubt whether this is a correct image I am using, or most of the time it happens, guys, that if you use physical DVD, you might have seen that the DVD will get scratches and the scratchy area may not function properly. So in that scenario, if you test the media, it would be better. But I don't want to waste another 10 minutes in testing, so I'll go with option number one. Now, one more problem you might face, guys, that when you go with option number one, instead of displaying the next screen, it will stuck at black screen. Nothing will appear. It happens mostly on physical machine, not in virtual machine. Why on physical machine? Maybe your system is having high-end video cards. Guys, for playing games in laptop, desktop, you may get high-end 3D cards, NVIDIA, GeoForce, ATI, Radeon, right? Those are too much high graphic cards. They need proper drivers to function. So if you hit over here and those cards are present, without drivers, they won't work and your screen will go blank. Not to worry in that scenario, just restart your machine, come back to troubleshooting. In troubleshooting, there is a solution for it. Install Red Hat Enterprise Linux in basic graphic mode. So if you go with this option, first, it will provide drivers to your graphic card. Then your graphic card start works, screens will work fine, everything will work fine. After installation, go to graphic card website, download the drivers, install it, and your drivers will work superb then. So at least to perform installation for such high-end graphic cards, you can go with this option. So any problem with your screen display during installation, there is nothing to worry. You can simply go to troubleshooting and start installing in basic graphic mode. I'll be going here with direct first option, install Red Hat 8.3. Just hit enter. Now it will take couple of moments and then our installer will begin. Now you'll get one name over here, guys. Anaconda. Now what's that Anaconda? What it has to do? Anaconda is the name of installer that is helping us to install Red Hat Linux or most of the Linuxes. Guys, Anaconda is an open source installer. In many Linuxes it is used. And mostly open source softwares are named after animals, birds, or any other species. You have Python, very important programming language nowadays. That is also a snake. Anaconda is also a snake. You have a software called Tiger VNC. You have a hacking tool Wireshark, right? So like that, there are many softwares, guys, that are named after the animal, but Anaconda is the installer that is helping us to install Red Hat Linux. It provides the screen and installation options. In a moment, the screens will appear and we will continue to follow the instructions. Now from here, it is super simple to install, guys. Just follow the guidelines and you can install it. First of all, it is asking us to select the language what we want to continue. There are huge support for languages that are available. You can go with Arabic, Telugu, Tamil, Gujarati, Marathi, Spanish, French, whatever you like, you can go for it. But as an English users, we prefer going to work with English. Now, English with respect to your geographical location. English, United States, United Kingdom, India, Australia, Canada, Denmark. Now, what's the benefit of selecting English with my geographical region? What's the significance of that? See, mostly in the global perspective, either we use UK English or US English, right? But why this India is available here with my geographical location? See, this is only benefit if you want to register your machine to Red Hat so that you may get regular updates. If I select English India, I'll be charged in Indian currency. That's it. There is no big deal about it. If I select Australia, they'll take me to Australian website and charge me according to Australian dollars. So this is nothing to do with anything apart from registration process. So select according to your country that would be benefited for you. So I'll be selecting English with respect to India as I'm in India. You can select according to your. Now when I click on continue, it will take a little moment to give me the next screen with lots of dashboard options. So next thing after that, we'll get lots of options under the dashboard. This may take a little while to give me the screen. Okay, so now you can see the dashboard is present. Everything you have to do with this options only, all the thing you just observe here, guys. If I take your attention towards keyboard, it says English India with currency rupee. So what it has to do with Red Hat? It nothing have to do with our OS. It has to do with your registration process. So it would take us to Indian website and do the charging according to Indian currency. So that's what we got by selecting the region. Language support is English India. And over here, you can see the date and time is adjusted according to New York time zone. Now, guys, I'm not in New York, and maybe most of you are at different geographical location. So I want to adjust the date and time according to my region. Then what shall I do? Just click on the option that you want to change. I want to go under date and time. Just click on time and date. This will give me option to select my country wherever I am in the globe. If you are in US, you can select most of the option wherever you are, or you can change the location over here. Lots of options are available. Every country has been given a landmark. So wherever you are, according to your location, you can select it. Right? So I'm in India. This is my country's map. I'll be clicking on my country. So automatically it would be selecting region Asia and the city Kolkata. So Indian Standard Time is adjusted according to Kolkata. That's the landmark what it has given. So you can adjust according to your region wherever you are. Let me click on done. Once you have made the change, simply click on done and we are finished. The next thing it is asking you, would you like to connect to Red Hat for registration process? Now, if I hit enter, it has two things for me. Give the username and password for your account, or go to activation key. Like Windows, here also you'll get an activation key. When you type it, it connects to Red Hat and verified. Internet connection is mandatory over here. So as of now, I have not enabled the network. The options are disabled. The moment I enable the network, it will give me those options. So anyway, I'm skipping it. I don't need any registration. It's my test machine, so I can work without registration. Installation source, I want to do installation through Red Hat DVD. No need to change it. Software selection. Now, when I click on software selection, lots of options it will give me. What are those options? See, the options are server with GUI. Now, what is that server with GUI? Suppose, guys, I want to do Red Hat installation and I want to get graphical screens. So if you want to do installation with graphic support, then go with server with GUI. Let us say, guys, there are many people who does not need graphics. Linux is a command line operating system. People love to work on command line. They don't require any graphical support. So if you only want to go with command line installation, no graphics, then select server. When you select server, it only gives you command line installation. No graphical support will be there. If you go with server with GUI, around 1400 packages. Packages are nothing but software. 1400 small software will get installed. If you go with only command line, around 750 software will get installed. So that is the difference. Server will give you only command line after installation. Server with GUI will give you complete server with graphical support. Then you have one more option, minimal install. I recommend never to go with minimal install. See, minimal install is a very compact installation. Just within 1 GB your Red Hat will install. But the disadvantage is very common useful tools will also be not installed. You need to install and use that tools. So very compact version of Red Hat will get installed. That is not recommended on servers. We need full functionality. Or if you want to install it on your laptop, desktop, user friendly like Windows, then you can choose Workstation. Workstation will give you a desktop or laptop version full of useful softwares. Then you can also customize and build your own Linux by choosing different packages, what you want and what you don't want. If you are trying to implement virtualization in Red Hat, you need Red Hat OS and a built-in virtualization. Like in Windows, we install Oracle VirtualBox separately. So if you want Windows OS with virtualization, you can go with virtualization host. It installed something called KVM, which is a built-in virtualization software in Red Hat if you want. So guys, to get full functionalities, better to go with server with GUI. Server with GUI is the best option to get all the resources. Give me a minute, guys. All right. So I have selected server with GUI. If you think you need more than 1400 packages, then what you can do is you can select whatever extra package that you want. Right? But I don't recommend, guys. Whatever software we want, we can install separately after installation. If I select too many software, installation time will be very lengthy. I don't want that. Recommended software should be installed. That is more than enough. I'll click on done. Now this will take a little while. It will check the DVD. Do I have that much of packages available or not? And it will update itself. Okay. The next thing, what I'm going to do is I'll be going with installation destination. Now, installation destination is nothing but where you want to install it, on which hard disk, how many partitions do you want to make inside it. So let me go to installation destination. It would show how many disks do you have. See guys, in my case, I have only one disk with a size of 25 GB. Suppose if you have 2, 3 disks connected to your system, you can unselect one and you can select any other on which you want to do installation. So in our case, we don't have any choice. We have to select the only available hard disk. Now inside that hard disk, how you want to make partitions. So at the bottom, if you look, there are two options, automatic or custom. If you go with automatic, entire 25 GB will be utilized. All three partitions will be automatically created, automatic size will be given. Now, I don't want to deal like that. I want to go with custom partitioning. I want to decide what should be the size for root, what should be the size for boot, what should be the size for swap, and I also want to leave some space freely. So better to go with custom selection. So I'll go with custom. So I'm planning to install on 25 GB disk with custom partitioning style. So let me click on done. Now it will give us next screen to do partitioning. You see at the bottom, it is mentioning that 25 GB space is available out of 25 GB. Total capacity is 25 GB and available space is 25 GB, entirely free. Now, how would you like to do partitioning? See, it has selected the partitioning scheme as LVM. Now, we don't know what is LVM. We have to learn it in the coming time. And we will come back again and we will see LVM style partitioning also. But as of now, we are going to go with simple standard partitioning. So just go into the Dropbox and change it to standard simple partition. We are going to come back after some days and we'll again see LVM based partitioning also. But first we will learn what is LVM and then we'll go for it. So let me click on plus to create a new partition, minus if you want to remove existing partition. There are no partitions yet to remove, so I need to go with plus to add a new partition. Now guys, you can create only a specific partitions during installation. When you click on that drop box, it tells you that these are the maximum partitions you can create: root, boot, home, var, swap, and all. So when I say root, all the other directories what we discussed yesterday, we discussed home, we discussed USR, we discussed bin, we discussed sbin, we discussed proc, all will be created in that forward slash only, the mother directory. Now what size, as it is going to have many things inside it, it's an important directory, so we should give maximum good space, at least half or more than half space. So I'm going to give 15 GB to it. Now how should I mention GB over here? See, you can type K for KB or M for MB, G for GB, T for TB also. So I'm going with 15G because I want 15 GB capacity. Let me click on add and you see your first partition with 15 GB capacity is created. Now you are left with 10 GB capacity. Okay, great. Let me click on plus. See guys, the partition that you have created will be automatically removed from the list. Do you see root still? No, you have created, it's gone. Now it's time to create boot. What should be the capacity for boot? I told you 1 GB is highly recommended. You can go less than 1 GB also if you're not planning to have that much of space. Add again. So you see your second partition is also created. Then I'll go for plus one more time. And this time I'll go with swap. How much size you want to give? Your RAM is 2 GB, so you can go at least with 2 GB. But if you're planning to get good performance, go with double of RAM, that is 4 GB. 2 GB is RAM. I'm going with 4 GB swap. Let's click on add. So you see root, boot, swap. All the three are created and still I am left with 5 GB. I intentionally kept the 5 GB because in future we are going to learn partitioning class where we will learn how to create partitions after installation. I need space to create partition. So I left 5 GB for our future usage. Let it be free, we'll use it later. So I decided to create root, boot, and swap. Now it's done. Let me click on done. When I click on done, it gives me a warning that if your hard disk is having any previously created partition, that would be destroyed and new partitions will be created. Do you agree with that? I'll say yes, I accept it. There's no previous partitions. So anyway, we don't have to worry. We'll say I accept this. Okay. Then the next part is to go with kdump. Kdump stands for kernel crash dump. Suppose guys, you are working with the operating system. Suddenly the system crash, blue screen appear, system crash, system got restarted. Now how do you know why the system crash? See, if it is your personal machine, you don't have to worry. But when we are working on a production environment, then definitely you should find the root cause why your system failed or crashed suddenly. To know the root cause of your system failure, you have to maintain kernel crash dump mechanism, KDump. What KDump will do, as soon as your system crash or kernel crash, it captures the reason that why system crash, what was the root cause behind it. And that dump will be kept under var crash core dump, something like that. VM core would be the name, var crash. So after your system restarted after the crash, go to var crash folder and you'll find the dump. Now you can analyze the dump by your own, it's like a log file. Or if you have support from Red Hat, what mostly we do is we'll log a call with Red Hat and we'll upload that core, the crash to Red Hat. Red Hat people will analyze it, they'll create a report and share us with 2 to 3 hours. And they'll give us suggestions that what you can do in order to avoid such kind of failures in future. But it all happens if you keep KDump enabled. If you don't want KDump enabled, that's a bad idea. You can unselect it. So no KDump activity will be there and you will never be able to find the root cause of system failure if it happens anytime. So I need KDump for knowing the reasons. I'm enabling it and let it be automatic. Don't disturb. Let kernel handles it, will not interfere in that. Just click on done. Make sure KDump is enabled. Now the next thing we have to set up is network. See guys, I want you to work in a professional like environment. When we work in real scenarios, people who are already working, they know that your data centers will be situated in some other geographical location and we would be working on some other geographical location. So when we are working like that, specifically in Unix and Linux, we want to communicate over the network using command line tools or any other thing. So in that scenario, you should know how to set up the network and how to connect your machine over the network. So to do that, we'll go into network and hostname settings, which would be the last settings. So here you can call your machine with some name. By default, it is taking a name localhost local domain. I don't understand that. I would like to call it with my choice name. Let me call it mlinux40 or whatever name you like. And let me tell you one thing, whatever name you are giving, it is changeable after installation also. So don't worry if you don't like the name now. Post installation, you can change it to whatever you like. As of now, I'm just calling it mlinux40 and I'm applying it. Now, if you have multiple Ethernet adapter, select any one adapter and click on configure. I have only one adapter, so I'm clicking on that to configure. Now, first thing, many people does not do this, and after installation, their networking will not work. So I want you to concentrate over here what I'm doing. Go first of all in General tab. Under General tab, make sure first option is selected, Connect automatically. That means every time the system restart, bring up the adapter automatically. If you don't select it after installation, your system will boot, but adapter will be down. Then every time the system restart, you have to manually activate the adapter. If you don't want that headache, make sure in general, connect automatically is selected. Then go to IPv4 settings. Guys, if you are not aware of networking, if you don't know IP addressing, subnet and all, please do not worry. There is a chapter in networking in a class of our Linux. There is a chapter called networking in which I'll go with the very basics of networking. If you already know networking, that is great. If you don't know, still you don't have to worry. Just follow the steps, whatever I'm showing blindly. Don't make any other changes. Just give me a moment, guys. Just a minute of break I need. Just a moment. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your patience. All right. So go to IPv4 settings. Inside it, there is an option selected automatic. Just click on that and change it to manual. First thing, you went into general and said connect automatically. Then click on IPv4 settings and change the option to manual. Then click on add on the right side. When you click on add, it gives you an option to type something. I'll type the IP address. Please use the same IP, same pattern to avoid confusion. 192.168.10.40. Now, what is that number and all? If you don't know, we'll discuss in networking class. Then press tab key. After typing the IP address, press the tab key. It will take you to netmask and automatically it took some number 24. Leave it as it is, don't change it, and click on save. Now activate the adapter. So we went into configure, we assign the IP address, we click on save, and lastly, I need to click on activating the adapter. When you activate the adapter, you see this machine is now reachable through this IP address 192.168.10.40. It's like this machine's telephone number. If I want to connect to this machine, that is the number I'll be using 192.168.10.40. That's great. But how do I know is it working or not? So what I'm going to do, I'll press right side control key to come out of virtual machine. Then I'll go with Windows and R button. And over here, I'll perform a ping test. I'll go with ping-t and the number what we have assigned 192.168.10.40. So ping is a command that is used for testing the communication between server clients or two machines. So when I ping it, it should respond to my request, ping test. So as you can see, it says destination host unreachable. So there are some barriers between my laptop and virtual machine to communicate. I'm trying to communicate from my laptop to the virtual machine. I'm making a call from laptop to virtual machine. Now, why is it not working? Because we need to do some other changes in the virtual machine settings. So let's go back to virtual machine console. First thing, I need to go to File, and you see there is an option Host Network Manager. Go to File, Host Network Manager, and over here you will find there is something called VirtualBox Host Only Ethernet Adapter, and it's a selected configure adapter automatically. Just select configure adapter manually. It might show you some different numbers over here, guys. But please assign the IP 192.168.10.2. Now, mostly people make mistake here also they'll assign 10.40. Guys, this IP is my laptop IP and virtual machine we have assigned a different IP. So if you assign same number both the sides, it will create a conflict. So give something different. I'm giving 10.2 and netmask should be 255.255.255.0. So this will become my laptop IP and virtual machine has 10.40. So click on configure adapter manually, give it an IP, subnet mask and apply. Oh, it's giving me little error. I actually changed it to show you as the virtual machine is running state, it's giving me these issues. Otherwise, it should have worked properly. I'm so sorry about it. You just need to come up over here, select and apply, but it's not getting changed. It seems there is issue in the settings. It's automatically getting changed to something else. Give me just a moment, guys. Let me fix it. One moment. Okay. Let me just again adjust the IP 10.2 maybe. And let me apply it this time. I hope it would work. Great. So now the IP is assigned. First change, you went into File, Host Network Manager, selected adapter manually and assigned 10.2. Now right click on virtual machine, go into settings and go to network, where right click on the machine, go to settings. In the settings, go to network. Now here there is an option selected NAT. Just replace that NAT to host only adapter. So selecting network and changing to host only adapter. That's it. And click on OK. Now guys, all your settings are done. Just have some patience. Wait for a minute or two. Within a minute or two, you'll see that your IP will start responding and ping test will become successful. So this is the small settings you have to do one time. Now next time when you create a virtual machine, all these settings you don't have to do. Just you need to select the adapter to host only adapter and networking will start working. Just we need to wait for a couple of minutes or seconds or a minute or two and your machine will start responding. So let's wait and watch how much time it will take. Probably it should not take too long. Or maybe I can do a ping test one more time. Okay. I do everything correctly. Yep. Everything is proper. Usually by this time it should be enabled. I made a small mistake, guys, that usually what I do before the class, I change the settings so that I can show you how to change the settings. By this class, I forgot to change it. And while virtual machine is up, I tried to make some changes in the network settings. So that's place, I think it is giving us some issue, but probably this is the simplest way how it has to work. By the way, everything is fine. You just follow this much of steps what I'm showing you and your networking will definitely start working. In my case, I think I need to stop the virtual machine and start it again. So I don't want to waste our so much time we have spent in doing the settings. Let's keep the network working. I'll check it out. Meanwhile, you just follow the same step and definitely it is going to work out. 100% it will work. Okay, so suppose IP and networking is done. It will connect, definitely it will connect. So let me come back again, and last thing what we have to do is we need to set up root password. See, without setting up root password, you cannot continue. Root user is the most powerful user we discussed yesterday. Now, if you don't set up the password, your installation will not begin. So let me give a password, Red Hat. You can give any password, strong password preferable. I'm going to give a simple small password, Red Hat. Twice you have to type Red Hat. It says it's a simple weak password. So I want to accept the password. Let me say done one time. Click on done another time. Two times you have to click on done to accept the weak password. Now, would you like to create one more user apart from root? See, root user will get installed by default when you install the operating system. If you want one more user apart from root, then click on user creation, call it with some name. Like in my case, I'm going to call it my user. Set some password. For example, I'll keep very small RED two times. You can keep whatever password you want. I'm keeping red. It says again it's a weak password. So let's click on done twice. So all the settings are done. Finally, we will click on begin installation and our installation will start to work. From here, it is going to take around 25 to 30 minutes to complete the installation. Now, I don't want you to wait for 25-30 minutes. If we go to our manual, you'll get all these screenshots inside it. Each and every step, whatever we have done, is present in the manual. So let me take you to the last thing happens after installation. Once your installation is completed, it is going to congratulate you and it would ask you to reboot your machine. So when you click on reboot, the system will get reboot for the first time. And for the first time when it is booting, it will ask you to accept the license agreement. See guys, when you install a small piece of software, even then also you have to accept the license agreement. Here is the big software, big OS. Click on license information and click on I accept the license terms and conditions. Thereafter, it might also again prompt you that you like to register this machine to Red Hat. Now, if you have a corporate account or you have a key with you to register, then obviously you can click on that, type the detail. This machine will get registered to Red Hat and you will start receiving updates. Don't think that this is a trial version. No Linux is trial version. Even though we are not going with subscription, still we will get full version. In Linux, there is no trial version. Only the thing is you may not get regular updates time to time. If you register, you'll start getting subscription. But subscription is paid. We need to select some subscription things and then we will be getting. So anyway, I'm not selecting subscription anymore. So we'll click on finish configuration and your installation is completed. So we need to wait for it complete, reboot the machine, follow the step and it is done. So this is it guys for your installation class. I wanted to show you this class because tomorrow we don't have a class, it's Sunday. So you can spend a time, do this installation and reach me out. If you have any problem, I'll fix it before Monday's class so that on Monday we can start working with basics and we can see practicals, how to work and all that. So this is the lab setup, what we have to do by tomorrow. And if it is completed day after tomorrow, definitely before the class, you can set up and be ready, and you can do the practicals immediately after the class, and any issues are there, you can reach me out. So today's mail, you'll be receiving the recording of the class, and you will be receiving that links for, yeah, no problem. I'll be sharing that. In the email, what I'll be sending with you, you'll be get all my details. So as I was telling you that you'll be getting the recording, you'll be getting the software, right? Red Hat software. Oracle VirtualBox, you need to just download it from internet by going into Oracle website. So that is it, guys, for today's session. If you think you have any more questions or queries, you can put your questions now. Okay, no problem, Syed. Let's see if there are no questions. Fine. Kindly do this stuff what I'll be sharing, and let me know if you have any problem anywhere you have Hangout. I'll try to help you. In fact, if needed, I'll be taking a remote session with the help of TeamViewer or AnyDesk. Keep them install anything, TeamViewer at least, so that if you're stuck up any place, I'll take a TeamViewer's connection and help you resolving the issues. So we'll stop the class over here, guys. Thank you very much. In 20-30 minutes, you'll be receiving the recordings and other details. Thank you so very much, guys. See you on Monday. Have a nice weekend.